11 Best RV Parks on the Oregon Coast. Welcome to the Oregon Coast. 1. Fort Stevens State Park in Hammond, Oregon. Fort Stevens State Park is located in the extreme northwestern portion of the state in Hammond. It is a spectacular place for families. Fort Stevens State Park sits at the mouth of the Columbia River with the Pacific Ocean on its western side. You have your choice of freshwater fishing in the Columbia River or seawater fishing in the Pacific Ocean. It truly is every mariner lover's paradise. 2. Seaside RV Resort in Seaside, Oregon. Approximately 20 minutes south of Fort Stevens State Park is Seaside RV Resort. If you didn't already know, Seaside is the most visited coastal town in the state of Oregon. 3. Nehalem Bay State Park, Nehalem, Oregon. I scooted down the coast another 25 miles to stop at Nehalem Bay State Park in Nehalem. I had heard great things about this place and wanted to see what all the hype was about. Immediately, I noticed the RV park is located on a small peninsula strip. If you wish to spend some time at Nehalem Bay State Park, you should book your reservation well in advance. 4. Pacific City RV and Camping Resort in Pacific City, Oregon. I drove my RV an hour south of Nehalem Bay State Park and pulled in at Pacific City RV and Camping Resort in the beautiful community of Pacific City. 5. Devil's Lake State Recreation Area in Lincoln City, Oregon. I left Pacific City and traveled south to Lincoln City. I had heard many things about Devil's Lake and honestly, felt somewhat mysterious about the origins of its name. Upon my arrival, I was pleasantly surprised to see a family-oriented campground on the lake's edge and no eerie sights. The RV campground is only a few minutes away from the beach by foot. 6. Premier RV Resort in Lincoln City, Oregon. While I was in Lincoln City, I drove my RV down the road and parked it at Premier RV Resort. This RV park, like the one at Devil's Lake, does not sit on the beach, but it is directly across the highway from the beach. I noticed immediately that this place was popular for the larger RVs. The park had long RV spaces with plenty of room for larger RVs in addition to full hookup sites. Unlike Devil's Lake, where a walk to the beach took 15 minutes, the walk to the beach from Premier RV Resort took only a minute or two. 7. Sea and Sand RV Park in Depoe Bay, Oregon. After spending a few nights in Lincoln City, I traveled a few miles south to the small coastal town of Depoe Bay. Known as the whale-watching capital of the Oregon coast, I was really eager to set up camp and explore this place. In fact, spotting a whale offshore became a bucket list event for me, and I was determined to cross it off my list. 8. Port of Newport Marina RV Park in Newport, Oregon. This area is home to the infamous Uquina Bay Lighthouse. Have you seen the horror movie, The Ring? If so, the creepy lighthouse featured in that film is actually the Uquina Bay Lighthouse. Don't worry, this isn't a spooky place. 9. South Jetty RV Park in Florence, Oregon. After my time on the central Oregon coast, I decided it was time to explore the RV parks on the southern Oregon coast. Therefore, I packed up everything and traveled south 50 miles to the coastal town of Florence. Florence, Oregon is known for the largest, most awesome sand dunes in the country. I heard about the sport of sandboarding and needed to mark it off my bucket list. You can rent dune buggies as well if you don't like the idea of surfing on the sand. If you're interested in having an adventurous thrill, please try out the sandboard or ride in a dune buggy. The sand dunes in Florence, Oregon are unlike anywhere else in the country. 10. Humbug Mountain State Park in Port Orford, Oregon. I drove 100 miles down the infamous Highway 101 to the super tiny town of Port Orford. I pulled into the small RV park and campground, Humbug Mountain State Park. It is so tiny that there are only 39 hookup sites for your RV. 11. Harris Beach State Park in Brookings, Oregon. From Humbug Mountain State Park, I traveled south another 55 miles on Highway 101 to the most southern coastal town in Oregon, Brookings. This coastal town is nicknamed Oregon's Banana Belt because of its generously mild temperatures year-round.